Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Only a look at Jesus.
Good night. Tonight, prayer, we will pray from Psalm 33, verses 1 through to 9. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with harp, sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his work are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. But the word of the Lord were in the heavens made, and all the house of them by the breath of his mouth. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as an heap. He laid upon the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. Good evening and welcome to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. The pressure politically at home is mounting and on the Prime Minister. Diplomatically, Trump is adding quite much more pressure to the Prime Minister. Tonight will be quite a short show because my son drunk and I want to sleep, all right? So just to let you know from early. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Owner the Debbie Jarvis TV. Good evening, Audrey Robinson. Miranda Ruddock, good evening, and welcome, Gloria Maris, Lynette Jenkins, good evening. Good evening, all. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Andrew Holness spoke of Jamaica moving into the Singapore direction. I would think it's one of Andrew's crony was on a Bloomberg interview and also dubbed Jamaica as the Western Singapore. Honestly, I have no idea what he is talking about. But if it is that Jamaica is modeling itself and Singapore, then Andrew Wheatley and Andrew Holness ought to have stepped aside until their investigation is completely over, whether it be by the courts or the bodies they have been referred to carry out further investigation into their finances. But they're still trumpeting the noise and linking themselves to Singapore. Now, Donald Trump is heaping up the pressure upon Andrew Holness and the China relation, among other things, but that is the most important part for Donald Trump and the pressure he's bringing to bear on Andrew Holness. There's many who are now calling for Andrew Wheatley's removal from the cabinet. Even Cliff Hughes is doing so. However, the same Cliff Hughes also have come out and give a convoluted explanation as to what Audrey Marks was talking about when the numbers and the people who she would have mentioned. That we will bring to you tonight. However, we have done an article, I don't know if you would have seen in the Gleaner, where the new ambassador for the United States to Jamaica is vowing to keep up the pressure. Sorry.
Geopolitical hardball. Trump regime
is vowing to
They
keep
argue
up
that
the pressure when it comes to lateral scamming, tighten U.S. Jamaica security, as well as pushback against China growing influence in the Caribbean. So we see over the last week or days or so on the diplomatic tittle-tattle between the US and Jamaica is heightened. That has been an issue since Trump comes back to power on his anti-China rant globally and around the region, where we saw where he started a trade war which didn't go down well because his courts in the United States has ruled the other way, which a lot of industry have to be paid back money based on those tariffs. Let us first, though, as I said, not turn out along, let us first go to the article we've done on the U.S. latest pressure they're heightening up on Jamaica. So let's go to this article. Then we will come to Cliff Hughes after that.
Geopolitical hardball. Trump regime turns up diplomatic heat on Jamaica over Chinese investment. By international affairs analyst. June 2026. The Trump administration's escalating diplomatic pressure on Jamaica over its growing economic ties with China has laid bare a familiar dynamic in the Caribbean. The tension between a small nation's right to chart its own development path and the long-held expectation that it should align with the strategic interests of the United States. What U.S. officials frame as a necessary effort to protect regional stability and financial transparency, critics describe as a heavy-handed attempt to limit Jamaica's sovereignty and maintain Washington's historical dominance in its own backyard. The standoff raises profound questions about power, development, and what it means for smaller states to make independent choices in an era of intensifying global competition. At the heart of the dispute lies a series of infrastructure and investment agreements between Kingston and Beijing, covering everything from port expansion and highway construction to energy projects and public housing. For Jamaican policymakers, these deals have been presented as a rare opportunity to address decades of underinvestment, create jobs, and modernize critical systems, projects that have often failed to attract sufficient timely support from traditional Western partners. Yet the Trump regime has increasingly framed this cooperation not as an economic choice, but as a strategic risk. U.S. envoys have publicly and privately raised concerns about debt sustainability, lack of transparency in contract terms, and the potential for China to gain political leverage through its lending. While these concerns are shared by some independent economists, critics argue they are being deployed selectively. The U.S. has offered few concrete alternatives to match the scale and speed of Chinese financing, creating the impression that the priority is not to help Jamaica develop, but to ensure it does not develop with anyone else. The diplomatic pressure itself has drawn sharp criticism as a challenge to the principle of national sovereignty. Jamaica, like all independent nations, has the right to negotiate trade and investment agreements with partners of its choosing. Yet the tone from Washington, characterized by public warnings, quiet threats to review security cooperation or trade preferences, and persistent lobbying against Chinese projects, suggests that this right is conditional. Critics point out that the United States has not always applied the same standards of transparency or debt sustainability to its own dealings in the region, raising accusations of a double standard. They argue that reducing Jamaica's options through pressure rather than partnership risks treating the country less as an equal ally and more as a sphere of influence, where its economic decisions must be approved by Washington. Equally concerning is the way the debate has been framed as a forced choice between two global powers. U.S. rhetoric often implies that deepening ties with China must come at the expense of relations with the United States, creating a false dilemma for Jamaican leaders. In reality, many developing nations across the globe have sought to maintain balanced partnerships, accepting investment from multiple sources while protecting their own interests. However, the Trump administration's approach leaves little room for balance. Its message appears to be that Jamaica must align its economic policy with U.S. strategic goals or face strained relations. This not only undermines trust, but also ignores the reality that for many Jamaicans, Chinese investment has delivered tangible improvements that were long promised, but slow to arrive from elsewhere. Critics also warn that this hardline approach risks backfiring. When smaller nations are pressured to abandon deals they see as beneficial without being offered viable alternatives, it can reinforce the perception that Western powers are more interested in maintaining control than in supporting equitable development. Rather than addressing legitimate concerns about lending practices or governance through constructive dialogue and offering competitive, transparent financing options, the focus on pressure can push countries further toward the partners that offer them greater flexibility. It also raises broader questions about the future of international relations. If sovereignty is only respected when nations make choices that suit larger powers, then the principle of self-determination becomes little more than a slogan. As the diplomatic standoff continues, it remains clear that this is about far more than infrastructure loans. It is a test of whether the Caribbean will be allowed to pursue a multipolar future, or whether it will remain subject to the geopolitical demands of the United States. While there are valid debates to be had about the terms and impact of any foreign investment, those debates should be conducted on the basis of mutual respect and shared interest, not through diplomatic coercion. For Jamaica, the challenge is to defend its right to choose while ensuring that all its partnerships serve the best interests of its people. For the United States, the question is whether it wishes to be seen as a partner that supports development or a power that seeks to dictate it.
The question one must ask, coming out of all of this, with Jamaica caught in a crossfire between the two major global powers, or the two major global economies, given the 500 years or so relationship we have with the West, will Jamaica ever develop under this United States stranglehold that they have on Jamaica? Because the infrastructure development or the investment without dictation that we would have from the Chinese, we would never have that from the Americans or from the Western countries, because we've had that relationship with them for quite some time, and we did not see that meaningful development. Will we ever, as Andrew Holness keeps saying then of recent, will we ever, if we were to chart that journey with the behavior of the United States, particularly under Donald Trump, will we ever see Jamaica getting anywhere close to the Singapore that Andrew keeps talking about? I must say to Andrew Holness, when you talk to we the people of Jamaica, yeah, show some restraint. Because we see how you show restraint when you deal with Trump. And remember, you tell we say, you're not afraid of nobody.
See about me. Me not afraid of nobody. Me we go with you too.
It is, Prime Minister, that you don't afraid of nobody. Will we go back into slavery by the will we allow the United States to usher us into slavery? Or will we stand up to the United States and chart a direction for ourselves? Because this is the same United States that is dictating these terms to us as the relationship we have with China. This is the United States that owe them debt, so much debt to China. This is the United States that have no other choice but to be trading with China, because United States cannot deliver on infrastructure development, not even in their country anymore. The United States now dominate engineering, infrastructure, and civil engineering, and all of that anymore. If it is that the United States is so intertwined with China, while them are tell we say we cannot have that relationship with China that will bring development to Jamaica, it means that we are being dragged back. Here is my question. Should we, with what the US is doing now, be dragged back by that? Or should we stand our ground and no matter what sanction they throw at us and chart a new direction? Because Cuba have survived 7 decades of sanctions, and Cuba weren't allowed to get to that level of development before all of these sanctions. With this, the stage that Jamaica is at now, the options that the world have now, should we be led blindly by the United States, which we're not going to see the infrastructure development that Jamaica need under with this dictation of the United States? Now, going to the Audrey Marks Galangin, them send out Cliff Hughes with a convoluted story. And this is why I keep calling on Cliff Hughes. As a journalist, you ought to drop the government narrative. No, hold on, make we listen to this Lady Mullins first. Because Andrew Holness, anything you hear them with, when you hear them with them something, yeah, you know these are Andrew Holness cronies. And as to why these people deliberately tell these lies or deliberately mischaracterize it, I don't know. But what this young man is talking about, Winifred, how you do? What this young man sits on Bloomberg and is talking about, nobody knows. Because when we have the leader of the country under the illicit probe, when we have another member of his cabinet just been referred, run one list, how you do, for corruption charges. And then they're telling us that we could become the next Dubai. This young man is going further, as if we are on the road to there already, or we have gotten there, if you listen to him well.
Singapore. So, I mean, if you're walking into the office of a portfolio manager here in the U.S. or in some other major country, I mean, what then becomes the selling point? I mean, beyond just, you know, the economic boom and other things that are going on in Jamaica, from an investment standpoint, I mean, what do you sell them on? Is it just sort of the nearshoring opportunity for U.S. companies or what?
So I think nearshoring is one, but more importantly, they need to think of Singapore in the Western Hemisphere. I think that's where it is. Jamaica has the
Singapore in the Western
Hemisphere.
Okay.
Jamaica has a seventh.
That's a bold claim.
Well, it should be. I mean, Jamaica has the 7th largest natural harbor in the world, similar to Singapore. We're next door to one of the largest markets, just like Singapore is with China. Jamaica is here with the US. If you close your eyes coming out of the Panama Canal, you run aground in Jamaica.
So, I mean, if you're walking into the office.
Opal, how you do? Jamaica is the Singapore of the West. We have gotten there. According to this Patsy, according to this Patsy, we are the Singapore of the West. How so? I have no clue what this Patsy is talking about. Grace, good evening. When you listen to him and tell me if you don't understand him, how me understand him. Jamaica is the Singapore of the West. By saying that, you would be saying we have achieved that level of development and also, you know what I think? And also, you know what I think, say my talks. Listen and tell me.
Singapore.
So, I mean, if you're walking into the office of a portfolio manager here in the U.S. or in some other major country, I mean, what then becomes the selling point? I mean, beyond just, you know, the economic boom and other things that are going on in Jamaica. From an investment standpoint, I mean, what do you sell them on? Is it just sort of the nearshoring opportunity for U.S. companies or what?
So I think nearshoring is one, but more importantly, they need to think of Singapore in the Western Hemisphere. I think that's where it is. Jamaica has the
Singapore in the Western
Hemisphere.
Okay.
Jamaica has a seventh.
That's a bold claim.
Well, it should be. I mean, Jamaica has the seventh largest natural harbor in the world, similar to Singapore. We're next door to one of the largest markets, just like Singapore is with China. Jamaica is here with the US. If you close your eyes coming out of the Panama Canal, you run aground in Jamaica.
So, I mean, if you're walking into the office.
Raymond, I don't know what he's talking about. Jamaica is Singapore in the West. How so? How so? I don't know what this Patsy is talking about, literally. Have we gotten there? Are we on the road to there? When we have the Prime Minister and a member of his cabinet under the illicit probe, when we have a total lawless, all-out attack on the anti-corruption body in our country, when we have an untrained workforce in our country, when we have, so you take over the cussing, you take over the cussing this evening. When we have a failing healthcare, when we have a crumbling infrastructure system, when we have a government that presides over a litany of corruption, when we have a government that seeks to weaken the anti-corruption bodies and legislation rather than strengthen them, when we have a system where public servants are being battling with the government for a pay increase, a meaningful, livable wage. And this Patsy is telling us that we are, you see, when me tell Andrew Holness, say, tap the fuckery them in our country, because if big old Patsy, if big old Patsy, since Holness got the chamber commerce, go talk so, Jamaica could become the next Dubai or the next Singapore. Patsy now go on American TV, go say, we are there. Patsy is saying, Patsy is not saying like Andrew, you know, we're on our way there. Patsy is saying, we are the Singapore of the Western world. You see why I tell Andrew Holness stop talking fuckery in our country? Because when Andrew Holness start listening to them, people literally believe say it goes off it true. Imagine this big old Patsy with this propaganda. Imagine what a labor right school picnic, a school child from a labor right house would have probably got school, go challenge teacher and tell teacher, say, we are the Singapore of the Western world. We don't have to listen to him again. Because, hey, the thing that these people do to us in our country, when you get a chair to sit down in, and when you see a mic and a camera in front of you, you must speak responsible. I don't mean nothing cuss. I mean don't tell the whole heap a lie. Don't mislead people. Don't tell the lie. Don't mislead people. Because this is what this is what we not do when we sit down on TV and spew these big old boulder dash.
Singapore.
So, I mean, if you're walking into the office of a portfolio manager here in the U.S. or in some other major country, I mean, what then becomes the selling point? I mean, beyond just, the economic boom and other things that are going on in Jamaica, from an investment standpoint, I mean, what do you sell them on? Is it just sort of the nearshoring opportunity for U.S. companies or what?
So I think nearshoring is one, but more importantly, they need to think of Singapore in the Western Hemisphere. I think that's where it is. Jamaica has this.
Singapore in the Western Hemisphere.
Let me say to Patsy, Jamaica is not attractive to developers because of the overladen bureaucracy, the legislative brouhaha, the red tapes, the crime, the corruption. Jamaica is not attractive to investors. Singapore got to where they got to because they became very attractive to investors. Jamaica is not that. I doubt Jamaica will ever be that, particularly under a JLP government. Particularly under a JLP government, Jamaica will never be that. The crime, the legislative holdback, the legislative red tapes, the overladen bureaucracy, the kickbacks, the under-table galanging, the extortion. While at the same time, we have a prime minister that is breaking down the anti-corruption bodies in our country. These are the things that Singapore did to move forward. A zero tolerance on corruption. A rule of law applied to all, no matter what your status, age, race, or color is. Meaningful pay for public sector workers. A huge education drive. Clean up their society. Look how we country dirty, sir. We don't even have road for drive pan. Transportation is not a proper linkage in our country. We don't have a transportation linkage across the country. Few bus here and there. We don't have a real system that connects the country to boost economy, where people can get up a morning time from St. Elizabeth and catch a train, go a town and work, and catch a train, come back home in the evening after work, or from St. Elizabeth to Manchester, St. Anne's, St. James, or whatever. How you expect the economy to grow when we sit down? Benita ran one list, Miranda, how no do? How no expect the economy to grow when we sit down in a stagnant? Look upon our road, look upon what Wholeness describe as our economic corridors. Marcia Thomas, how no do? Andrew Mack, user, Wagwan. I'm Michelle, Marcia, Bureau this. Look upon what Andrew Wholeness call with economic corridor. They are in shambles across the country. Ask anybody, especially since Melissa, driving from St. James to St. Elizabeth is a nightmare. Driving from St. Elizabeth, Evan Miller, how you do? Driving from St. James to St. Elizabeth is an utter nightmare across the country. Vehicle can barely move. Look at the health care. Look at education. The amount of money we get off of Melissa, and with children them gone back in a deplorable school when I have no roofing panel. Some of them don't repair already if you go back to school. Lauren, how you do? Look at our children them across the disaster zone. Make a play back the Singapore video where I played last night. No, me need to play back the Singapore video to make them hear what Singapore did to get themselves to where they are today. Or this young man, this Patsy, should go and read the book that Andy suggests last night, From Third World to First World. And maybe they wouldn't go up on TV and go embarrass themselves and embarrass Jamaica. Because here the anchor tell you that's a bold claim to make, because they themselves know you are talking bullshit. They probably don't want to embarrass you. So then Wayne Evans, then we there and they don't want to support the program. It's just simple to hit the like button and them refuse to do it. What you did was went on Bloomberg and not only embarrass yourself, but embarrass Jamaica as it is at the moment, given what Melissa have done, and the government collects so much money and we in a squalor same way. With children, them can't go back to school because them lost everything. Parents lost livelihood, and there's no way of going back in the element go learn. Look at our country during COVID. Our children became so backwards and out of touch because we don't have a join up system where we could proper educate with children them online. Let us remind them of how Singapore got to where Singapore got to.
They say life was simple back
Lorraine, Sterling, Androma, good evening all.
Hey guys, yet things were not what they seemed. Oh, let's go. Trust could be bought. It was every man for himself. To survive, we had to keep quiet. There was nothing we could do but hope for change.
Prevention of Corruption Act was passed today. While directed mainly at corruption in the public services, it is applicable also to corruption by private agents, trustees, and others.
Times were tough, but we pushed on. There were small victories, but change took time.
It is not possible to enforce high standards of integrity in the civil service if the political leadership tolerates any corrupt behavior amongst its own ranks. All those who hold office must abide by strict standards of public and private conduct.
No one was above the law. Don't worry. Doing the right thing is never easy.
uncle. You gave me extra 20 cents.
But we have to keep fighting.
The Constitutional Amendment Bill also enables the Director of CDIB to deal direct President on complaints of corruption against the minister should the Prime Minister withhold his consent.
Not even just Yellow Yam, Wayne Evans. All Aki when I have no nutrients in there can't buy anymore. This is why wholeness need to speak responsibly in our country. Because I'm sure this young man go up on TV, go embarrass himself and the nation just because of our wholeness.
CBI mount investigations.
To look beyond falsehoods and stay true to what we believe in.
I don't get it. Something's missing.
Because it becomes how they see the world. The work is thankless, but strength comes from adversity. Even if it means turning in our own.
User UX7, you put it right. This administration can sell you copper for gold and then turn around and sue you for defamation. Like literally, it is exactly that. It is exactly that. And that's how Andrew Holness got a third term. He sold us copper for gold.
Mr. Top, please come with us.
Working hard to leave corruption in the past. Taking nothing for granted.
What is our secret to keep Singapore clean? There's a Chinese proverb, 上梁不正，下梁歪. It means that the top beam is askew, the bottom beam supporting it will be crooked. It is most important that Singapore remain a place where no one is above scrutiny. We started with strong political...
Golden put it, if the head of the stream is dirty, the entire stream will also be dirty. And that's exactly what we are seeing in our government at the moment. It's why Andrew Holness thinks he can bully his way through. And Andrew Wheatley should have been removed from the nation's cabinet on Wednesday. Andrew Wheatley should have been removed from the nation's cabinet on Wednesday. And Andrew Holness still a hold on and a hold out like he has no respect for the rule of law, like he has no respect for the people of Jamaica. And then you have Andrew Holness cronies who, if this Andrew Wheatley was in Singapore, would have been in prison long time. If this Andrew Holness was in Singapore, would have been in prison long time.
Leadership. A leadership determined to eradicate corruption, and we have maintained this ever since.
What we stand for will become the lives that they lead.
Mr. Lee Kuan Yew knew right from the start that Singapore's survival and
When I was in halls of when I used to work in halls of residence, do you know the amount of students Singapore sent to Britain on state scholarship on a yearly basis? A whole plethora of them. I have never in Britain come across a Jamaican on state scholarship. I've never come across one. I'm not saying there isn't any. I just have never, during my university days or during my days working in halls of residence, I have never seen one or heard of one. It's country like Singapore, India, and China that dominate those international spaces when it comes to sending your young people to do the sciences and come back home, come build your country. Let Patsy embarrass herself one more time.
Singapore.
So, I mean, if you're walking into the office of a portfolio manager here in the U.S. or in some other major country, I mean, what then becomes the selling point? I mean, beyond just, you know, the economic boom and other things that are going on in Jamaica, from an investment standpoint, I mean, what do you sell them on? Is it just sort of the nearshoring opportunity for U.S. companies or what?
So I think nearshoring is one, but more importantly, they need to think of Singapore in the Western Hemisphere. I think that's where it is. Jamaica has the
Singapore in the Western Hemisphere. Okay.
Jamaica has a seventh.
That's a bold claim.
Well, it should be. I mean, Jamaica has the seventh largest natural harbor in the world, similar to Singapore. We're next door to one of the largest markets, just like Singapore is with China. Jamaica is here with the US. If you close your eyes coming out of the Panama Canal, you run aground in Jamaica.
So, I mean,
if you listen to him, he's talking as if Singapore is a developing nation. Singapore is not a developing nation. Singapore has taken itself to first world status. Oh, these people, and they're embarrassed.
You're walking into the office.
No. Aunt Jemima came out with a convoluted explanation when it comes to Audrey Marks. Very convoluted explanation where
was the one who told a senior U.S. government.
Listen to Cliff Hughes. Audrey Marks was the one who told. Audrey Marks is the missing word there. That bit never captured in the recording. But listen to the convolution that Cliff Hughes, Tony, Jamaica, how you do? Listen what Cliff Hughes is explaining and see if it makes sense. Me listen it a whole heap of time today. And up until now, me not get it. So when you listen and you get it, type it in the comment and tell me who is lying. Cliff Hughes, Audrey Marks, or the Americans and their diplomatic cables.
Was the one who told a senior U.S. government official some time ago, yes, either earlier this year or sometime last year, that Jamaica was prepared to absorb 10,000 people from America. And that is not so. The whole thing has been conflated. What I gather from sources, yes, is that Audrey Marks, as part of the problem facing us in terms of labor shortage, suggested to this US government official that, listen, we have a serious labor market problem. A lot of our people want to go to the US. Yes? Which is a fact. A lot of Jamaicans want to migrate. Let us work out a voluntary program, but organized, where the nurses, the teachers who want to go, but they don't really want to live in America. What they want is the dollars, the income. So let us work out a program where those nurses, teachers, whatever professional you have them in America for 6 months, and they come back to Jamaica after 6 months. So we don't lose them as we are now. You don't lose them. Yeah? You can get them for 6 months, we get them for 6 months. That is what was proposed. This had nothing to do with the criminals, the rapists, the molesters, who Trump has declared he wants out. And that, I gather, is what Marx suggested. A workforce exchange program. And somehow in the reporting in the Jamaican press, primarily from the pages of the Gleaner, that was not clearly understood, and it has been conflated into this issue of the third country nationals.
Very good question, Canadian girl. How you do? Lord, Mom thinks that we are fool. Mom really think to say, no man, I have to go reverse here and play again. Listen, you know, so they're serious? Yeah? Jesus, laugh it out tonight because of comedy. There's no reason to cuss tonight. Whoever got comedy and cuss? No. Nobody ever go comedy and cuss. I laugh, you go there if you laugh. Laugh after the... No. Laugh after them. The lady said it was a work exchange program. Then Dana Dixon said it was attracting skilled workers. Only work them out. Put them silence. Murder. No, sir. Listen, moms. But moms, you always make them push you out with a fuckery. You always make the over the little tax money, moms. Moms, over the little tax money, you always make them push you out with a fuckery. Laugh at them.
Was the one who told a senior U.S. government official some time ago, yes, either earlier this year or sometime last year, that Jamaica was prepared to absorb 10,000 people from America. And that is not so. The whole thing has been conflated. What I gather from sources, yes, is that Audrey Marx, as part of the problem facing us in terms of labor shortage, suggested to this U.S. government official that, listen,
here, moms, our problem with labor shortage is not that we're not training people. It's that when we train them, they can't find work at Jamaica, or they can't find work we pay them for they can't live off of Jamaica. So they have to go somewhere else. Why on earth then do you think foreign people are going to come pluck up where we are run from? Make it make sense, the moms.
We have a serious labor market problem. A lot of our people want to go to the US. Yes? which is a fact. A lot of Jamaicans want to migrate. Let us work out a voluntary program.
Talk why they want to
organized.
migrate. Talk why Jamaicans are migrating to Britain, Canada, and America to work. Talk, no? Talk why they migrate.
Where the nurses, the teachers want to go, but they don't really want to live in America. What they want is the dollars, the income. So let us work out a program where those nurses, teachers, whatever professional you have them in America for 6 months, and they come back to Jamaica after 6 months. So we don't lose them.
Okay. What? How the financial work out? Can you tell Audrey Marks, tell we, when they go to America for 6 months and work the better salary, when they come back to Jamaica for the rotating 6 months, like the CARICOM leadership, the CARICOM chairship, when they come to Jamaica for the rotating 6 months, and what salary? What do they drop back down to the meager salary, or the deal that RJ Fox, the deal that Dirty Face RJ, because RJ Face always full of dot, was working out? Was there going to be a leveling out of the salary when they run left Jamaica for? Tell RJ say, tell you say, come back and tell we say, because be a news carrying in our moms. I be a news carrying. So tell RJ say, tell you say, come back and tell we say, oh, the 6 month rotation would work out when them get back a yard and the salary where they run from idiot. Big fool and good for nothing cliff. Long time big man. Wear out big man. Big man where everything done pan your road. Big moms. You not care the news good. When you not care news, when you forget clarification pan the news before you run with your son news go. Otherwise, you're just a locomotive news carrier. Big lady. Lap tail lady. Lady with the lap tail. Go back, go catch more car come. The story not done yet. Big and good for nothing fool.
A lot of our people want to go to the US. Yes? Which is a fact. A lot of Jamaicans want to migrate. Let us work out a voluntary program, but organized.
We never be more confused,
the nurses, the teachers who want to go, but they don't really want to live in America. What they want is the dollars, the income. So let us work out a program where those nurses, teachers, whatever professional you have them in America for 6 months, and they come back to Jamaica after 6 months. So we don't lose them as we are now. You don't lose them. Yeah? You can get them for 6 months, we get them for 6 months.
Can you also ask RJ Fox, were those professionals, were those skilled workers a part of the deal with UNO and the Americans them a work out? We would like to know. We would like to know if those skilled workers were a part of the conversation. Because UNO love get up and talk about we behind we back, and then come tell we say, all right, we have made a decision. Lady go on, no? Lady go on.
Months. That is what was proposed. This had nothing to do with the criminals, the rapists, the molesters, who Trump has declared he wants out. And that I gather.
So what about the diplomatic cables?
is what Marx suggested, a workforce exchange program. And somehow in the reporting in the Jamaican press,
would it be a work exchange program or a work rotation? Because a work exchange program, moms, would be we send our professionals there and America send their professionals at home to us. That is what work exchange program means. What you, though, have explained, moms, is a rotation of Jamaicans. Lord Jesus. Andrew and the labor right them always push you out to embarrass yourself over the little tax money. And you come with your face swell up like I said, like a when car lick bullfrog the day after. You come with your face like I said, car lick you yesterday.
Primarily from the pages of the Gleaner, that was not clearly understood, and it has been conflated into this issue of the third country nationals.
I don't know Otaya and Dana Dixon who get laugh at them. No, sir. Come globalist. Or don't tell me. Ota Cliff and Dana, who for explanation was Sarah? Sharon Bernard, how you do? Barbara Simpson, Wagwan. Who for explanation was Sarah? Lord Jesus. Ota Dana, 1 for Dana and 2 for Cliff. Please vote now. 1 for Dana, 2 for Cliff. Who for explanation was Sarah? Play back the clip with Marco Rubio. I said, this will play Marco Rubio, Jam Rock. Vote, where is Pernell Charles? That galangi, that thingy, it would have been Pernell Charles' area to be having that conversation. Who for explanation was Sarah? 1 for Dana, 2 for Cliff. No, sir. Me can't cope. Ivan Banton, how you do? Ivan Banton said Cliff explanation was Sarah. We are waiting on Marlon Morgan explanation. We don't notice if I'm expose him whether I not hear much about him. Me not hear much about him. Wait, how you get your vote? 0. Laugh at them. No, sir. 3 for and 3 for Chang. 1 for Dana, 2 for Cliff, and 3 for Chang. Hey, you know when the explanation I will get was Sarah? You see, if Alfie Kamina Johnson Smith neck ever go come out your and stretch like a garling and try to pick ticks out of cow ears, Tory would have turned up. They're all bad as each other.
Sounds like a classic, vividly wound up patois or regional expression describing someone acting entirely too eager, aggressive,
Dirty nasty gimme. Dirty nasty gimme. Come out of my business. That's why I don't like how they lie at the phone and we lie like labor right near me when me attack. Because them always get into your business and I have them own conversation. God black good. And I have them own conversation when nobody now have. Matthew Lewis, oh no do. If we come in a Johnson neck, ever go come out here and start try pick out ticks out of cow ears. You're all singing with many different voices. You're all patsies of the Jamaican choir, but you all are now sing different note. The whole on now sing with one accord. Every time somebody open their mouth, it get worse, Sarah. When you say we lie, when you say we lie, you see we lie and wickedness, I do know. Everybody come out, make an awful mess of the situation. None of us to date understand what Horace Chang says. None of us. Dana Dixon spew shit and smell up the thing. Now come here, come Cliff Hughes. It better Marlon and Kamina Johnson Smith don't come out here, you know. Because we can't take no more. It is as bad as it is already. Make it stay so. We can't come confused. If anybody else come out, we're going to be more confused. We can't paddle. We can't paddle through the whole heap of mess. Mom's done come off of my screen. So we have to go listen to with the Andrew.
Because Audrey Marks would be an absolutely mad woman to have.
No, I know mad she mad. A wicked she wicked. Because she have that conversation with them about taking the 10,000 deplorable, the rapists, the pedophiles, and the murderers, and the robbers. Yes, she had that conversation. The American then will have that long relationship with Audrey Marks as ambassador. Never go just come out, come tell like Audrey Marks. So. Them never go just come out, come tell like Audrey Marks. So yes, Audrey Marks, not just mad, Audrey Marks wicked and lie. It is the reason why Audrey Marks and JLP cannot come out, answer the question. Them have to send out boy like you, or send out girl like you, moms.
Ever suggested, think about it, that we are going to take 10,000 other criminals Trump wants out? Think about it. Just think about it. Does that make sense?
Does it make sense? I will tell you. I will tell you that it makes sense. Let Marco Rubio tell you that it really does make sense. And Marx really had the conversation.
Searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better. So they can't come back across.
Hold on there. Run one list. Then don't say them fish shut up. Them don't say them fish shut up. You cannot play hardball with the Trump regime. You cannot play hardball with the Trump regime. Uno go left in the embarrassing state because they are going to throw Uno under the bus. Because there's no respect and loyalty when it comes to this the Trump organism, the Trump regime. So Uno continue to play hardball with Trump and see. And see where going to happen to you. Continue. As goal, how you do? Continue. Play the hardball. And see how it going to end up. You may see seal indictment get unsealed both ya. And private jet with US Marshal come down with jumpsuit and handcuff for hand to foot.
Searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better. So they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country. We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working.
And there's a video where Trump attacks as well. A lot of these people come from Madhouse and cross the border. these same criminals and people from Madhouse are them are set loose in our society. Because unlike which country, oh God, hold on there. Go and talk Marco Rubio with the water remote.
Working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country. We are actively...
Unlike the Vietnamese man, as PBS News broadcast today in the US, unlike the Vietnamese man that was no man, not El Salvador. There was a Vietnamese man that was third sent to South Sudan under this third country, Galangin, like where go through, yeah. He was in detention for over a year in Sudan, in South Sudan, and is just now being sent back to Vietnam after over a year in detention. Ladybug, oh you do. But Horace Chang told us that the one them will come our way will be let loose to meddle in our society. They will be let loose to roam amongst our children, to roam amongst us. Then probably they come act like a tourist. Then probably they come join gang. Horace Chang himself probably give them gun when them come, because we know politicians give bad man gun.
Searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country. We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador. We are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country. We are actively...
I know me say it, Andrew Holness, is Marco Rubio. This is not propaganda from independent journalists. This is not political from PNP. This is the foreign secretary. This is the foreign secretary. We'll come to Jamaica. I need to take this out and bring it back in because it just tells me the audio has been knocked out. This is the foreign secretary of the United States is telling us who they're sending our way. Regardless of the bullshit that Chang tells us, even though none of us understand what Chang was talking about. Regardless of the Chang side of the story, Marco Rubio is telling us the truth. Who they are sending our way.
Holiness has to make the call. Does he fire him? Or ask him? Direct him to resign? It's his call. It's a tough place to be in, but that is what the job comes with. And this is not to try whether or not there's merit in the Integrity Commission's findings. That will have to be decided in a court of law. And that's why he's lawyering up, muscling up to fight that. But there's a political problem now. How do you continue with him in the cabinet when he's facing criminal charges? The accepted convention and practice is you take away yourself, clear your name. I suspect that history and convention will prevail, and Wheatley will take away himself.
Donald Thompson, well, go on. We are their boss. We elect them. We gave them a job. And Your Holiness, though, and his bunch of crooks thinks that them own way and them rule way. Wheatley should have tendered his resignation rather than when he came to Parliament on Wednesday to attack the Integrity Commission. Because if Juliet Holness and the PNP didn't stop him, he was going off on an attack on the IC, that the IC is defaming him. But Wheatley should have tendered his resignation on Wednesday evening. The country, Errol Clark, how you do? The country ought not to be going in a back and forth. And Holness is ignoring the voices. The opposition has called from Wednesday for Wheatley removal. JFJ has called for Wheatley removal. Some of the churches are calling for Wheatley removal. Cliff Hughes is calling for Wheatley removal. Others, I don't hear I'm not sure if the PSOJ come out yet. But it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. Wheatley ought to remove himself. And if Wheatley refuses or does not have the dignity to remove himself from the cabinet on Wednesday evening, then by Thursday morning, Andrew should have asked for his resignation. When you're a minister of government, you serve at the pleasure of the prime minister or the president. And if you don't see it necessary to step aside, the prime minister is under duty to ask you to step aside. But then, if Andrew Holness is the same thief like Andrew Wheatley, I mean, him heart would not give him problem asking Wheatley to step aside, isn't it? Because Wheatley could go on the back bench and start to attack him straight away on his hypocrisy. Is it not? Because literally, to ask Wheatley to step aside, given that you're both in a similar situation, one could argue is hypocrisy. Wheatley could go on the backbench and use that as a teardown for the prime minister. But yet still, Singapore, where them would have a prison, Singapore, where them asset would have seized, they're telling us that we're on our way there, or we're the comparison for Singapore in the West. Me come go my bed in a global Skype. Sun junk me today and me want to sleep. Sun junk me and me want to sleep. You see why we need to be careful when we have vote? You see why we need to stop pet up politician? Because I am of the view, and I've always been saying this, unless a politician perform, not just perform, seen to to perform their duties and delivers on the promise that they make to us when they want the vote. No politician in our country not supposed to get more one term in a politics. If it is that they promise us something and we gave them 4 or 5 years, murder she wrote. We gave them 4 or 5 years. And at the end of the 4 or 5 years, if they cannot show us a progress report of their delivery on that promise, then there's no way we should have re-elect them. There's no way we should have re-elect them. And another thing, we ought to stop being transactional with our democracy. Because you hear when, this is why I don't subscribe to this word too much, this democracy. Because within the Western system, democracy is very limited. It's about voting in a rigged election. And why I say a rigged election, we are not given the chance to choose one from us to go to Parliament and represents us. We are being given somebody to vote for by the Old Boys Club. That is the political organization wherever they may be in whichever country. The Boys Club of the political organization gives us that candidate to vote for, not us, even though they have a system of delegations when it comes to the voting. But the delegates, they choose that person, and then the delegates of the constituency vote on whether that person represents us or not. But that's a rigged election. Until we, the people of the constituency, the people of the division, can point on somebody in our community and say, that's the person we want to send to local government. That's the person we want to send to central government. It's all a rigged election. Another part of democracy is speak at your risk of being sued or being arrested, or walk naked, half naked, if you so choose. Democracy doesn't really much go further than that. Democracy don't go too much further than this. We need to change. The political system that we have in our country needs to be total overhaul. We need to get rid of the Old Boys Club, throw them under the bus, and then we choose one from amongst us to represent us. But that's not what we're getting at the moment. The Boys Club give us someone and tell us that's who we want you to vote for. So there's so much reform we need. We, the people as well, need to stop the transaction. The vote for the KFC or the vote for the $5,000. You must vote on promise to deliver on policy. And if it is that at the end of the electoral cycle, and they have not delivered on the promise, then we shouldn't give them a second term to come back, come promise way again. You understand? So we have to hold ourselves responsible also for where our country is. The other part is the tribalism. The tribalism, where we're so rigid to party affiliation and party color rather than to policies. To benefit from politics, we must be policy-centered as a people. Stop me, these people pull a wool over our eye. Anyway, may I come go on my bed, I want to sleep. Have yourself an amazing weekend. We won't be back until probably Sunday evening. We'll probably come back Sunday evening. We'll watch how the political landscape are going. But have yourself an amazing weekend. And please return on Sunday evening. If anything kick off in the political arena over the weekend or like tomorrow, we might come on tomorrow night. But if not, it will be on Sunday night. So, thank you all very much for being here this evening. Have yourself an amazing weekend. And if you cannot be good, be very careful. Thank you and good night from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So that's why I say watch a man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve our people. Put time away. Put time away again. Listen. Yeah. Just as I say, watch a man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah. Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows, but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.